Hey guys, welcome back to DeFi Kingdoms. In this alpha drop video, I'm going to be talking about early leveling strategy. So before leveling up a hero, you'll want to think carefully, because when your hero levels up, you'll be choosing some of the stats that will be increasing. If you haven't watched my previous video about hero stat leveling, then I suggest checking it out, because then you'll understand the implications of this. And the reason why you want to think carefully before leveling up your hero is because once you choose the stats to add to, the process is irreversible. So here is the relevant part of the leveling process that we are interested in. When we level up a hero, we'll get to choose 3 stats. The first stat is a guaranteed stat bonus, so we can choose any of the 8 stats here for a guaranteed +1 to that stat upon leveling up. And then subsequently, we will get to choose 2 other stats that will receive a 50% chance of a +1 upon leveling up. So in total, this process will add a minimum of 1 stat and a maximum of 3 stats. Now, the important thing that I think not a lot of people are paying attention to is that it makes a difference when you add certain stats. So here in the official documentation, you can see the 8 stats here and their characteristics. We have strength, which adds a multiplier to various actions, especially physical attacks and skills. So this strength will determine probably the damage that certain classes will inflict on enemies. And next we have dexterity, which plays a lesser role in defense and modifies attack damage from certain weapons. So this is once again something to do with combat, okay, where you increase your attack damage and a smaller role in defense. Next we have agility, which determines how soon your hero will be able to take actions during combat and also plays a role in evasion. Next, we have vitality, and this is the first important stat that we want to pay attention to in terms of early leveling strategy, because this will have an impact later down the road. So I'll explain this a little bit later on. Next, we have endurance. Endurance adds to defense and increases debuff resistance. I think if you've been playing a lot of role-playing games, you would understand what this means. But for the purposes of this video, it's not that important, so let me move on. Next, we have intelligence, and this is the second important stat that we want to pay attention to in terms of early leveling strategy. Once again, I'll explain later on why this is important. But for now, just note that intelligence adds a multiplier to various actions, especially skills and magic. So this, in my opinion, is probably going to be very similar to strength in the sense that it deals a certain amount of damage multiplier to enemies. Okay, and also modifies magic evasion. But the second part here is the most important part for our purposes. Intelligence also plays into how much mana points is gained when leveling up. Okay, I will soon explain why this is important. And next we have wisdom, adds a multiplier to magic attacks and skills and increases magic defense. This stat also plays into how much mana points is gained when leveling up. Okay, so this is the third important stat that we want to pay attention to in terms of early leveling strategy. So I'll explain shortly why this is the case. Lastly, we have luck, and luck is the stat that determines how likely it is for your hero to land a critical strike, and also increases the chance to get rare items. So just a side note, the luck stat will be important for a lot of the profession quests. But for now, the main stats we want to focus on is vitality, intelligence, and wisdom. So in case you haven't yet realized, this is the reason why vitality, intelligence, and wisdom are the important stats to pay attention to right now, because they are the stats that will compound across level ups. So to quickly explain, let's say upon your first level up of your hero, you add 1 point into the vitality stat. What this means is that even if you do not add any more to the vitality stat, your hero will continue to enjoy a larger hit point increase. And this benefit will continue across all subsequent level ups. So adding to these stats early on will give your hero compounded benefits over time. And this will be especially useful for the future adventure quests and PvP when these functions go live. Okay, so what does this mean on a practical level? Let me share with you my personal opinion. First, you need to decide whether your hero will be combat focused or if it will be profession focused. If your hero will be focused on professions, then you only really need to focus on adding the stats that are relevant to that particular profession. But if your hero is going to be focused on combat, then the early priority should be on adding to vitality, intelligence, and wisdom. So generally speaking, these are the stats that I will be looking to add to the specific classes early on in their leveling up process. For a warrior, I will be looking to add the guaranteed +1 on vitality and a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and strength. For the knight, I'll be looking to add a guaranteed +1 to vitality and then a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and endurance. Alternatively, another option would be for a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and strength. For the priest and the wizard, these are similar. I will be looking to add a guaranteed +1 into intelligence and a 50% chance of a +1 in wisdom and vitality. Next, we have the monk and the pirate, and this is not so straightforward, but generally I will be looking for a guaranteed +1 in vitality and a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and another one of the stats. So there's no clear winner here, and it's really up to you to what you want to choose. In my opinion, the best candidates would be strength, dexterity, and agility. Next, for the thief, I'll be looking for a guaranteed +1 in vitality and a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and agility, or if I'm looking to spec into a luck thief, then I'll be looking for a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and luck. And lastly, for the archer, I'll be looking for a guaranteed +1 in vitality and a 50% chance of a +1 in intelligence and dexterity. Okay, so before I end this video, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, this approach is only to be used for the first few level ups, the idea being that starting early will give us a leg up in the compounding of the hit points and the mana points of the hero further down the line. Beyond the first few levels, you can then choose to allocate to other stats, while at the same time enjoying the benefits of more hit points and more mana points at every subsequent level up. Okay, so that's the end of the video. If you found it to be useful, please click the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.